Hi, my name is Justin Manley, and this presentation is for Western Governors University LUT1 course. Today I'm going to be presenting on year-round schooling, year-round education. Education should be something that should be near and dear to everyone's heart. How we're preparing our children for the future, and also how are we going to move forward in this global economy. Did you know that the United States only ranks 17th out of 40 in an international assessment of our academic performance? It's not good. This was noted by the Economist Intelligence Unit just last year. Research suggests that students participating in a year-round school calendar, they have lower dropout rates, and they also are able to retain their academic knowledge better than students in a traditional calendar. The reason why is because they have more frequent engagement in school, and also they avoid the lengthy summer break. They avoid summer learning loss. Let's talk about dropout rates real quick. Did you know that dropout rates for students in year-round schooling is 2 to 3% less than students participating in a traditional school calendar? That's a difference of 50%. That's huge. So there's evidence of this. There was a guy named James Bradford Jr. Back in 1996, he submitted a paper to the American Education Research Association. In this paper, it was a study of Patty McClure High School in Buena Vista, Virginia. This particular high school was a study of 21 years of year-round schooling, and in it he found that the dropout rate for this school was only 1.8%, whereas the Virginia state average was 3.4%. That's huge. That's a 1.6% difference, almost 50% difference right there. Also, according to Statistics Brain website, they note a report by the American Library Association just this year that California schools that participate in year-round schooling, their dropout rate's only 2%, whereas the traditional schools, their dropout rate's coming in at 5%. That's huge. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this particular poster board here. We have two different graphs. This is provided by the National Association of Year-Round Education and Pepper and Ballinger. So on the right here, you have the year-round school calendar, and over on the left, you have the traditional school calendar. Both are 180 days, but just at a glance, it's really easy to see that this year-round school calendar, much better balanced. If you look over at the traditional school calendar, it's weighted heavily on learn and heavily on off. This is much better balance with learn off, learn off. This black part, big black part, 60 days off at least of summer vacation, this is what attributes to the summer learning loss that we see in traditional schools. And this brings me to my second point. Summer learning loss, basically what this is when kids are in traditional school calendars, when they come back in the fall, research suggests they have about a 1 to 2 month academic learning loss coming back in. There's evidence of this. So in 2003, there was a researcher named Harris Cooper. He's from Duke University, and he aggregated 39 other studies of summer learning loss. And throughout this, he noted that on average there was 1 month of loss in traditional school calendars when those kids came back in the fall. Also, in 2007, researchers from Johns Hopkins University, Alexander Entwistle and Olson, they also looked at various studies, and they noticed that children in lower income families, they suffer, their effects of summer learning loss are worse than their affluent peers. Particularly by the 5th grade, they noticed that low-income children have 3 grade levels of loss in reading compared to their affluent peers. They noted this was because they don't have access to resources in the summer, but they also said that when they were in school, those children from low-income families made gains on par with their affluent peers. So in conclusion, the research is very clear. There's evidence for the benefits of year-round schooling in that it helps lower dropout rates across the board, and that it also helps alleviate or altogether eliminate the summer learning loss, summer learning slide. This is this is important for our country. If we're going to move forward on a global scale, if we're going to move forward with education, we've got to make changes now. It's prudent to do this now. We can make the changes if our country's willing. Is there any questions in the audience?
How does year-round schooling affect the parents' ability to obtain adequate child care?
That's a good question. So I noticed two reports. One was from the Sun Sentinel, Florida newspaper. The other one was the Daily Digest, a Virginia newspaper. In it, both basically said the same thing. Daycare centers are competitive in nature, and they respond to the needs of the community. As the community changes, the daycare centers change as well. Any other questions?
Are there different versions of year-round schooling in use?
Yes, actually there are. There's the 45-15 day, the 60-20 day, and the 90-30 day. This is the 45-15, which you see here. First number represents 45. The first number represents the days in, as far as learn. The second number represents days off. So you have those different schedules, but you also have what's called a multi-track. Basically what it does is it breaks the students and the faculty up into groupings. And so there's sometimes the kids in one group will be in school while other kids and faculty will be on vacation. Literally, it turns the school into a year-round school, but they still maintain the 180-day calendar per student and per faculty member. Are there any other questions? No? Okay, well, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for listening to me about year-round school education. Thank you.